Wheel studs. I paid $2 at the Flap, friendly local auto parts. $1.99, made in USA. But they only had 5 in stock. I just ordered a bunch from the local auto parts around the block, and they're $3.27 each. More than 50% more, and it has a big M. Does that stand for Motor Mite, which is made in Taiwan? But they were delivered just around the block. They were closed yesterday. I'm installing them. I try to put them on using the old nut and washer method, but that's not a good method, so let's crank her down. Oop, I'm going to catch on the edge. Do you think the Keystone XL pipeline should go through? Good question, huh? Good question. Brings jobs. There's already tons of pipelines running through Oklahoma and Texas and Nebraska. Alberta's going to produce their oil no matter what. They just put it on a train, which could derail the old bomb trains. What's the right thing to do, huh? More oil pipelines. Oh, baby! I'm soaked. It was raining at 7 o'clock this morning. Then it turned to snow for a few hours, and at noon or so, it turned back to rain. And that's what it's been doing. I suppose the only good thing that could happen is it could get colder and it'll turn to snow, and I don't get paid for plowing. There we go. That is nice and tight. Zoop. This is the way to install wheel studs. Like I said, the most often used method is to put a nut on with a washer and impact gun it, but that beats on everything. It's just not a good system. I just cleaned off my gloves. They're nice and shiny. I'm going to have to grab this hub gizmo, put it back on the truck, and pound out the rest of these studs. Here's the busted ones. Drove around for 6 months with these. 6 studs holding on the wheel. Dumb, huh? Left the wheel studs. The wheel nut's loose. Who knows where they're made? Who knows? Suburban junk. Alrighty, I had the wheel studs delivered by the local auto parts store installed. Now I'll put on the nut that has no tension. It's actually loose by 1/8 of a turn to allow for wheel bearing expansion. Funny, huh? Some vehicles you tighten the wheel bearing nut down snug, or 100 foot-pounds or 1,000,000 foot-pounds, and this one was loose. Turned it 1/8 of a turn approximately to get it to snug down. And I'll just put it back in the same place, put the C-clip on and the lock. I like when you guys watch my videos. I really appreciate it. I really do. A friend of mine texted me this morning. He says he only watches my videos. I never met him. He's in Tyler, Texas, which is east of Dallas, on the way down to Houston, where I met MJM Computers. Can't believe I didn't make a video there with his K10. What a dummy. It was night and it was drizzling. Supposedly it's colder in Texas right now. In east central Texas it was 20 degrees this morning, which is what, -5 Celsius? And it was 33 here, +1. There we go. Now that's tight. I'm going to back it off a little bit, spin it, make sure there's no burrs. Whee! Spin it back to the little lug slot right there. Put the lock in, which is somewhere right there. And I'm going to turn the camera off so I can work with 2 greasy hands. It's funny, the sky just turned reddish bright. It was dark all day and the cloud cover thinned. I came outside, I thought there was a nuclear war going on. It was bright out here. What time is it? 4:30. I set my clock back. Or, yeah, fall back. Autumn back. Fall back, autumn back. Got tissues. I use them to clean off my hands. My gloves. Raining. I'm soaked. Soaked to the bone. My boots have holes in them. Socks are wet. Oh well. Life's a bitch. Alright, I got some silicone on, and I took some pictures. Now I gotta stick the axle into the hole. Easier said than done, huh? That should slide right in. There's nothing inside that fell out of place, but clunk. Always makes me worry. Did I screw something up? Put the bolts back in. That's how you put a new wheel studs in to your hub. If you've got a lighter duty rear axle or a half ton, taking the axle, it's not so easy. You got to take off the cover, take off a bolt that breaks half the time, push the axles in, drop the pin, push the axles in, take off the C-clips, then slide the axles out. A lot more complicated. And if that bolt breaks, you got to weld the pin back in. That's the only way it goes back in. I need my socket. Everything I touch is greasy. Greasy. What size was that? 3/4, I think. Which is... no. Oh well. I'll find it. I'll never clean up this mess. What would you watch on YouTube if you didn't have a messy shop to laugh at?